Hey guys, it's Sister Wives, season 4. No, sorry, that's the wrong.
Season 4.
Season 14, episode 13. The heat is on.
But is it?
But is it really? Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm supposed to say that by law. I'm required as a YouTuber to say that before every video. But seriously, like and subscribe. It helps us out. I don't know what to say with this episode because I feel like there's no new information. And it pains me.
Meri's house burned down with Cody in it.
John, that's not funny. No, it pains me to say this. Physically pains me to say this. But I think Cody's right about the rental. It bothers me so much because he's manipulated the situation to the point. But it's ridiculous. They put an offer in on a house, which you don't just say, hey, I'd like to buy your house, handshake deal. You put down
earnest money.
Earnest money, which is usually
whatever it is.
I don't know what normal is, but it's a pretty good chunk. I mean, I think the lowest I've heard is like $10,000, and for a house that size, which I heard is close to $1 million, I doubt it was like $150. Like, it was probably $10,000. It could, I don't know.
You would think.
Doesn't matter. Money is money. That's expensive. Of course, from what I heard, they're spending that much money on rent. But the other point is, you know, they could buy the house, and then when they want to build, sell the house and go back to find a rental, and then list their house. Of course, with their luck with renting and with selling, they would have it for another 3 years, just sitting empty. But anyway, there's just not a lot to say about this episode. We have this whole big thing about Meri evacuating, which is very scary. Of course, Christine comes in and she gets mad at Christine, like, don't make a joke, which we've all seen Christine kind of make jokes, and we deal with things through humor, but we gotta both be on board with that. You can't, like...
That can go wrong really quick.
Yeah, like, if one of you is not in the mood to laugh it off, it is a bad choice. And then, but later on, she was like, I'm sorry, Christine. So it was like kind of and then they didn't even, this is what kind of bothers me about it though. They never went back and talked to Meri about it. The only way we found out her house didn't burn down is Janelle was like, oh, by the way, Meri's house didn't burn down. It's like, oh, well, great. I'm glad we got some real resolution to that plot line. You know, and of course I thought about what I would pack. Because we've done that, we've moved many times. We've done 2 moves within 6 months. But you know, some of that stuff that we packed up is still in storage. We should probably get rid of it. But anyway, I want to know about Meri's LuLaRoe, because that was her big thing she's doing, and they're bankrupt, I think. They had all these problems. Their deal was that you could return anything, but then they stopped accepting returns and all that. Not really my kind of thing. So I now wonder if she like switched to a different MLM, or what's the deal? Anyway, so the whole big thing is she gets out all the stuff that she can't, and then she stays there so that she's at least in control. There was a lot of discussions about staying or going. I noticed that, like, Cody doesn't even give her, like, not even like a side hug. Like, hey, it'll be okay, kiddo. Let alone like a real... Stop it. Don't ever do that again. Anyway, and then Maddie's in her 37th week. And she's having on and off again contractions, and she's not even in a plural marriage, so... Yeah, is that you're saying, no plural marriage? Don't want her on my TV? Is that what you're saying? No, so... Yeah, actually. So Janelle goes to go help out. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what you do. What do you do if you don't have someone to watch your kid when you go into labor? I don't know. I was a little terrified for her. So Robyn and Cody are closing in 3 to 4 days, and Robyn's still looking at rentals. Like, this is not like you're going into hospice and you're looking for a kidney. Like, there are other, I mean, that's not the great analogy. It's a terrible analogy, in fact. I don't quite know. But my idea is, like, I think it's time to like, accept that you're buying this house. And this is where I was, like, turned to him and was like, I hate to say it, but I think Cody's right, and Robyn has lost her mind at this point. Yeah. I mean, but this is the other weird thing is he's like, oh, well, we're renting this house that she doesn't want to buy. And and he said they're renting it for quite a bit. I kind of feel like, well, if you're putting everything into moving vans, right. Why are you renting this house that's fully furnished as opposed to just crashing at Janelle? Have some of the kids go crash with Meri I know you don't like her, but someone else could.
Perk.
Yeah, I mean, like, they like to trot out these plural marriage perks. This is the benefit of having multiple moms, but like then they're super silent when one of them is...
Come on, Robyn, how's it supposed to work?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 days, then the kids already have, which is like what we had said if we were married, we would you pack up stuff like your underwear, your socks, t-shirts, clothes, then you pack up like all your makeup and medications, and your important stuff. Well, now that you have everything in the car, you can just kind of go crash at someone's house for a few days. Then you don't have to pay an extra, I don't know how much they're spending in rent, to rent the place that they're going to buy, fully furnished. You know, so it's like, I guess they're just going to have a ton of extra furniture or give it away or try to sell it. You know, people aren't crazy about buying used furniture, let me tell you. But then she wanted to rent a house halfway to Sedona. We did that drive. It's not, I mean, it's just...
It's fun.
It's just... At that point, well, then she was like mad that God, you know, this house was perfect, but it's like, well, you could have bought it if it was so perfect. But I guess her idea is that God should have made these people rent. God's got to deal with other people too. Maybe these people needed this money so they could go sell this house so they could move to be near their family. Maybe God's got other people in the world to follow. I mean, this idea that everything should work out exactly, not just a house, but that exact house should have been available for rent.
Forever.
For as long as she wanted. You know. Anyway, and where was all this rebellion when he wanted to move from Vegas? Now, I know a lot of people think that they moved there just so she could be near Dayton, but I don't know. I think maybe Dayton would have gone to a closer by school if they hadn't moved to Flagstaff. I don't know. I think it's just... Anyway, it's like she could have used this backbone when he was talking about leaving the cul-de-sac. But anyway, so now...
It sounds like they had what
they had this... Then we see the most useless scene I've ever seen, which is parking the trucks at the property. Which, first he was like, let's...
They have to cram this 15 minutes episode into an hour something.
I know. And they're really running out of... Remember they used to do 2-hour episodes all the time? And it's just kind of weird to me, because...
It was soul-sucking.
Soul-sucking. But anyway, he wants to park them like upside down on a hill or something. She's like, can't we just park them flat? So we watched an enthralling 5-minute conversation about that, which was followed up by, okay, fine, they'll park them someplace flat, but not in this exact spot. And then they fought about that. And that's that point where you just really feel like going, like, I don't care. Like, this is not that interesting. This is not like where they're moving. This is like where they're parking their truck. And he's like, well, you know, it just feels like we're advertising for people to steal our stuff. Yeah, kind of. I said what they need to do, what we did when we got here, which is you buy a shipping container, and they drop it on the property, and instead of, why do you need trucks and trucks and trucks of stuff every time you move? Because you're apparently going to move every 30 minutes for the next 10 years of your life. I don't know. It was not all that exciting. And I do need to apologize. Many people corrected me on this, which is I said that Christine had bought a house, and I said Robyn was buying a house. I said that Janelle was buying a house. And Janelle did not buy a house. Janelle's renting. Several people pointed that out. I think I got confused because Janelle said she was for buying a house. Well, she's going to, whatever Cody says. Like, she doesn't say, yeah, I'm going to say whatever Cody says. She just says whatever Cody says. Oh, no, I think it's not the worst idea in the world to buy. Okay, Janelle, we get it. You're the favorite wife. You finally weaseled your way into that position, without a doubt. You took a long, hard road there. I like Janelle. Just to be clear, I'm not saying I hate her in this. I'm just saying she finally got it. She finally got alpha wife things. She's the only one who's not fighting with Cody at this point. Then, Cody, this is, okay, I am going to say this. It is wonderful as a grandfather that he wants to be there for his grandchild's birth, okay? I personally am, I have to admit, uncomfortable with the idea of him being there watching the birth, literally, like he was last time. But I also am, I don't want to judge if your father was there with you watching the birth. I don't want you to feel that I'm judging you. Nothing that I'm comfortable with, but we all, our birth, when someone is pregnant, they get a pick.
I didn't want to be there when we had
I know, babe. You have been very vocal. And I said if you were there for the making of the baby, you're going to be there for the birth of the baby. And that you didn't have a choice.
I want to test.
And you did. And you did very good despite all that and all the blood on the floor. It was a C-section, so. Anyway, she should have worn...
The doctor got new shoes. Let's just say
those boots didn't survive. She should have worn muck boots. Anyway, but what I will say is that Cody has many young children of his own, and I would say that it's probably, like, he's like, the most important thing right now is that I need to be there for the birth of my grandchild, and my thought was, he's like, well, I have one wife with no place to live. I'm kind of like, well, and she's got several young kids, and I kind of feel like if Janelle's there and Christine's there, I kind of feel like, and I'm not saying I don't know. This is subjective. You can say whatever you want, because this is not my hard line on this. But it just kind of seemed like he's got his own, like, direct children who are looking to him as their father figure, and it would sure be nice if he was there. If someone was there.
Well, he's got 4 wives, so he doesn't have to be there.
Well, and then Janelle's like, I don't want him in my bed. I just want to sleep. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And Christine's like, polygamy perk. And it's like, okay, lady, you should not be, after this season, really, like, polygamy perk. Because it's like, why is Robyn having to spend all this money to rent a house? You're not even there. Janelle's not even there. She can crash in any of the houses she wants. She was, she's trying to play the angle that she would have been fine with a single house if Christine had been. But no one's, she can't crash there for a few days. So I was like, oh, and then just the commercial for next week where Meri is like, we have absolutely no relationship. And then Cody's like, I'm just sick of always being told how wrong I am. And all I thought is, everybody knows you have a relationship. You have... Speaking badly of her on international TV, I said national TV, and someone pointed out that this airs in the UK too, and all sorts of places. So internationally he speaks, and it's like, tell me where the lie was. Now maybe he's saying this about something else. Maybe he's saying about the fact that 3 of his 4 wives are angry with him. Well, you know what? That is a side effect of having 4 wives. And maybe if everyone is mad at you all the time, there's something in common with all those decisions. You know what I mean? Like,
it's way too late to look in the mirror now.
Yeah. So anyway, I wish we had. There just wasn't a lot to say. I'm sorry. It's all. I feel like it's the only thing that's new was Maddie giving birth, and there's not much to say. She's 37 weeks. She's going to go to a birthing center, which is of course her choice. I'll tell you what though, if she had this big baby. I could get that baby out in the hospital, but
you get a horse and a rope.
No, Sean, stop that.
You tie the rope to the foot.
No, that's not how you do it.
Slap the horse.
First of all, that's not how you deliver babies. That's how you deliver cows.
Yeah,
babies aren't born foot first. They're not supposed to be.
There, if you do it that way.
No, but anyway, so she's having on again and off again labor for days. Days on end. They did the little replay of her giving birth last time. Makes me want to never give birth again. Of course, I don't really have the option, but, like...
It's my turn next time.
Anyway, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.